We may be in the middle of a thrash metal resurgence and not even notice. This is the third old school thrash metal band that has released an album after a very significant amount of time. The first one was at the end of last year with Sadist. They released an album in late 2023 called The Shadow Inside. Then last month, Morbid Saint released their album Swallowed by Hell after about 30 years. Now we have an album by Atrophy, which is releasing an album after 34 years. It is called Asylum. This band started in the mid-80s. Their original name was Heresy. Then they released two albums. They released Socialized Hate in 1988 and Violent by Nature in 1990. The band broke up in 1993 and it didn't reform until 2015. They only have one original member left, vocalist Brian Zimmerman. And now, even though it's 9 years after their reformation, they're back with a new album called Asylum. The album sounds like it was recorded in the late 80s. It has that same old school thrash metal sound. The sound is very reminiscent of bands like Testament and Exodus. Even some of the lyrical content sounds like things that were going on in the 80s. So let me talk about this album and I'll go through the tracks. The opening track is called Punishment for All. The song is an old school thrash metal sound. The guitar riffs are very fast and furious. The vocals are harsh, but what I like about this band is that you can easily understand all the lyrics and you can follow along. The lyrics are about how the country is becoming more and more divided politically. The song has an awesome breakdown which goes into the guitar solo, which is very melodic. Overall, this is a very strong opening track. The next track is called High Anxiety, and this one reminds me a lot of the band Testament. I think it was because the vocals were very reminiscent of Chuck Billy. This was another great thrash metal song. It's about somebody suffering from an anxiety disorder. And we are 2 tracks into the album, and so far everything is sounding very good. Seeds of Sorrow is next, and this is another fast and aggressive thrash metal song. I like the galloping rhythms of the guitar sound, and the song is about the rise of school shootings and how the government doesn't want to do anything to stop it. The next song is called Distortion. The song stands out amongst the first 3 because they use some clean guitars in the breakdown. This gets very slow, it builds up into some melodic lead guitar playing. The song is about fake news and how the truth gets distorted when presented to the people. We're halfway through the album, and the next song is called Bleeding Out. This one is not much different than the first 4 tracks. So far, everything has been fast and heavy, old school thrash metal. They're not experimenting with their sound. This is another thrasher. The song is about politicians and the state of the world in general. The next song is called American Dream. This one has a guest star, a guitarist named Craig and Loom. The song is similar to some of the ones before. I heard some neoclassical elements in some of the guitar solos, and the song's about corporate greed and how life is becoming more difficult because of it. The next song is called Close My Eyes. So far, I've been saying that many of the songs had a similar sound, but they got a little experimental on this one. The opening track features clean guitars and clean singing, maybe similar to King Diamond. They were in this like falsetto style. At first I was thinking this was going to be a thrash ballad, but it wasn't because the song took off. It was probably faster and heavier than anything else on the album. Then when the song came to a close, they brought back those clean guitars and clean singing. This goes to show that not everything sounds the same on this album, so they do mix it up a little. The next song is called The Apostle. This is another fast and heavy thrash metal song. The song is about religious leaders. This is similar to many songs written by thrash bands in the late 80s, so it had that old school sound. The song is very critical of organized religion and talks about religious leaders who have a lot of followers. This was a very good song. It sounds like it could have been written 30 years ago. The last song on the album is called 5 Minutes Till Suicide. This is another fast and heavy song. The song is about veterans of war who come home and develop PTSD. They then have a hard time incorporating themselves into society, and they end up on the street, or that was my interpretation, because in the chorus, they call it an open-air asylum, but overall, it was a good song to end this album. So now for my final thoughts. Is this the best thrash metal album of 2024? Probably not. Is it the most old-school sounding thrash metal album of 2024? Probably yes. I think if you're looking for something that sounds like it was recorded in 1988, this is the album for you. I think it lacked a little bit of originality, but I don't think they were trying to be original. My score is an 8 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Check out my review of Swallowed by Hell by Morbid Saint. I'll stick that right here. Some more thrash metal. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe. If you're not already, I will see you in the next one.